The first time anyone in Crescent Heights heard the words, "No one can handle the Billionaire's twins," it wasn't spoken with exaggeration, it was spoken with fear, real fear. The kind that settled into the bones of every new nanny, tutor, or behavioral specialist who walked through the towering glass doors of the Harrow estate and walked right back out before sunset. Eva and Area Harrow were 10 years old, identical in face but polar opposites in temperament, and both armed with their late mother's brilliant mind and their father's bottomless bank account. They had expelled 20, 3 nannies, 4 governesses, 9 tutors, 3 private chefs, and 2 bodyguards in less than a year. Rumors swirled, some believable, others utterly impossible, about what the girls did to chase away each unfortunate soul. So when the estate's head of staff announced with a stiff, embarrassed cough that a janitor, not even a part-time one but a temporary contract worker, had been assigned to watch the girls until someone more qualified could be found, the entire house paused as though the chandeliers themselves might fall. The man's name was Rowan Hale, and he was not, by anyone's measure, impressive at first glance. He arrived carrying a threadbare backpack, a worn-in jacket that clearly wasn't meant for the early spring cold, and a sleepy 8-year-old boy perched on his hip. The boy clung to him like a tired koala, burying his face into Rowan's shoulder. Rowan murmured an apology as the estate butler looked him over disapprovingly. "I was told this would just be a cleaning job," Rowan said. "I didn't realize I'd need to bring my son, but daycare fell through today." The butler sniffed in a way that suggested the presence of a small child was a personal insult. Mr. Harrow insisted anyone, be here to supervise the girls. Until we hire a replacement, you will be filling the role. The butler paused. "Though I expect you will last less than an hour." Rowan adjusted the boy's weight on his hip. "Name's Rowan, and this is Luca. Lovely," the butler said without meaning it. "The twins are in the east atrium. Godspeed." What a strange thing to say, Rowan thought as he made his way down the shining hallways. No marble floor should be that polished. He could see his nervous expression reflected with every step. Luca wriggled and lifted his head. "Daddy, is this where the rich people live?" "Pretty sure," Rowan whispered back. "Do they have snacks?" "If I survive today, we'll find out." Rowan pushed open the tall glass doors of the east atrium and was met with disaster. Not metaphorical disaster, actual, undeniable, catastrophic chaos. Feathers floated through the air like snow. A fountain was dyed bright green. What appeared to be the remains of an exploded cake decorated the far wall. And in the center of the mess sat 2 girls with matching dark hair, wide green eyes, and identical smirks, though one looked mischievous while the other looked entirely too calm for someone sitting in the middle of a war zone. "Eva and Area," Rowan blinked. Luca whispered, "Whoa." The mischievous twin, Eva, narrowed her eyes first. "Who are you?" "The new toy." Area offered, voice soft and eerie in a way that made Rowan question all his life choices. "Not a toy," Rowan said, shifting Luca to the ground. "Just here to, but keep an eye on you too." Eva scoffed. "Another babysitter." "Not a babysitter. I'm a janitor." The girls exchanged a fascinated look, as if they had just discovered a rare bug. "You clean things for fun?" Eva asked. "Not for fun," Rowan said. "For money." Area tilted her head. "Do you cry easily?" "Depends on the day," Rowan replied honestly. Luca tugged on Rowan's sleeve and whispered loudly, "They look like evil fairies." Eva's face lit up with delight. "I like you," she declared to Luca. Area blinked thoughtfully. "You called us fairies." "Evil fairies," Luca corrected. Rowan placed a gentle hand on his son's head. "Okay, buddy, maybe let's no," Eva said, standing. "He's right." She spread her arms. "We are chaos fairies." Area nodded. "We bring ruin." Rowan inhaled deeply. "Great. Fantastic. Let's, tone down the ruin today. First rule, no explosions in the house." Eva crossed her arms. "You can't make rules." "Actually, I can," Rowan said. "Rule 2. No pranks that involve food die unless everyone involved agrees to get died." Eva's smirk faltered. "No," Area said softly. "That makes pranks fair, and fairness ruins the fun." "Rule 3. Rowan continued, crouching to eye level with them. If you're going to prank someone, prank me first. That way we get it out of your system. The twins stared, really stared, their little faces tense, calculating. And then, shockingly, Arya gasped. A volunteer. Eva blinked rapidly. A human volunteer. Sure, Rowan said. Consider me your test subject. The twins exchanged a look that was clearly the twin equivalent of a mind meld conversation. Then Eva grabbed his sleeve. Come with us, Daddy, Luca said, grabbing Rowan's other sleeve. I think you're going to die. You're coming too, Eva told Luca. The next hour was eventful. Rowan was doused in glitter, had his shoes frozen to the floor with some sort of high-tech instant-tice device, and was politely trapped in a giant cardboard maze the girls had apparently built the previous night. He pretended to be terrified in the maze, which made the twins dissolve into uncontrollable laughter. But something interesting happened. Whenever Rowan fell, or bumped into a wall, or acted confused, Luca burst into giggles. And when Luca giggled, Eva giggled harder. When Luca asked questions, Arya answered them with unexpected patience. When Rowan let the twins scare him with their elaborate pranks, both girls became calmer, almost gentle. And when Rowan finally let out an exaggerated groan, lying on the floor covered in glitter and cardboard scraps, the twins collapsed beside him as if exhausted. You're weird, Eva declared. You're loud, Arya added. And you too, Rowan said, pulling glitter from his hair, are brilliant. Both girls stiffened slightly, as if bracing for sarcasm. I mean it, Rowan said. You planned all this, the traps, the maze, the timing. That's some big engineering brainpower. Eva's eyes widened. Arya blinked, expression softening. Everyone else just yells. Well, I don't like yelling, Rowan said. My son doesn't like yelling either. We do better with, I don't know, teamwork. Eva sat up straighter. We've never had a team. Arya nudged a glitter pile with her shoe. We just have rules, too many rules. Rowan looked at the dyed fountain water, the feathers, the glitter, and then at the two small girls sitting with silent expectation. Maybe you don't need more rules. Maybe you need projects. Projects? Eva's eyes sparkled. Like what? Arya whispered. Oh, trust me, Rowan said, rubbing his chin. I have ideas. That was how, 30 minutes later, Eva and Arya Harrow sat at a mansion dining table with notebooks, pencils, and a grinning Luca, all planning something Rowan called Operation Chaos, with purpose. Their mission? To design something impressive enough that their father, distant, busy, unreachable billionaire Emery Harrow, would have to actually notice them. Rowan watched the girls work. Their minds worked in loops and spirals, feeding off each other, arguing for 2 seconds, then agreeing the next. He had always been good with kids, but this was different. These girls weren't misbehaving because they were mean or spoiled. They were misbehaving because they were lonely. He recognized that emptiness. He had lived it once too. While Luca leaned against him, drawing dinosaurs in the margin of Eva's notebook, Rowan felt something strange tug in his chest. A sense of purpose he'd forgotten he had. The girl's plan, as it turned out, was brilliant and dangerous, and entirely too illegal for children. Okay, Rowan said slowly, looking at the sketched schematic that definitely included fireworks. Maybe let's do something slightly less explosive. Eva frowned, but father likes big things. Arya said, and fire. Your father likes expensive ventures. Rowan corrected. Not fire code violations. The girls groaned. Rowan thought for a moment, then his face lit with an idea. What if you build something useful, something that helps someone, something that shows your father how smart you really are? Eva tapped her pencil. Like a robot, Arya's eyes widened. A real one. Rowan shrugged. Why not? I know some basics. You two clearly know more than the basics. The twins inhaled sharply. Luca whispered, Daddy, are we allowed to make robots? For science, Rowan said. Sure, and that was how the Harrow twins spent the next week, glued to Rowan's side, not just because he was funny or unbothered or willing to let them prank him, but because he listened. He asked what they wanted in life, what they missed, what they didn't like, what made them angry, what made them sad. No adult had bothered asking them those things before. Eva told him she felt invisible. Arya told him she felt trapped. Both admitted they didn't know how to talk to their father, and Rowan, who once struggled to talk to his own, understood better than anyone. In the evenings, after cleaning shifts, Rowan and the twins worked in the unused basement workshop. Luca sat near by coloring while Eva soldered wires with uncanny focus and Arya arranged sensors with surgical precision. They created a robot mouse, small and silver, equipped with basic navigation and a tiny screen capable of displaying messages. They named it Pip. On the final night before the reveal, Pip scurried across the floor, beeped proudly, and displayed its first message, "Hi, Dad." Eva burst into proud laughter. Arya tried not to smile, but failed. Rowan lifted Pip gently. "It's perfect." But perfect did not exist in the Harrow estate. Not for long. The night before the twins planned to show their father the robot, Emery Harrow returned early from a business trip. The moment he stepped inside, the house froze. A man known for brilliance, ruthlessness, and an emotional range comparable to a stone statue. Emery was impossible to impress, and even harder to approach. The twins peeked from behind Rowan as Emery scanned the atrium with a look of exhaustion. "Girls," he said, "I heard you drove away another nanny." Eva stiffened. Arya shrank behind her sister. Rowan stepped forward before either girl could speak. "Actually, sir, they've been with me this week." Emery turned his gaze toward Rowan, assessing him like a remote object. "And you are Rowan Hale," he said, standing tall despite his faded clothes. "Temporary janitor." Emery blinked once, slowly. "My daughters have been supervised by a janitor." "Supervised, taught, supported," Rowan said, voice firm. "They're incredible kids, sir." Eva grabbed Rowan's sleeve. Arya clutched his other, and for the first time, Emery seemed to actually look at his daughters, not as problems to solve, but as children. "What exactly have you all been doing?" Emery asked. Rowan nudged the twins gently. "Show him." Eva swallowed, then stepped forward. Arya followed, holding Pip in both hands. "Father," Eva said, voice wobbling, "we made something. A robot." Arya whispered, "We built it ourselves." Pip beeped softly, displaying a little, "Hi, Dad." Emery's eyes widened. A tiny, nearly invisible shift, but a shift nonetheless. "You made this?" he asked quietly. "We did," Eva said, chin trembling, "with Rowan's help." Arya added softly. There was a long pause. Too long. Rowan held his breath. Then Emery Harrow did something no one in the room expected. He knelt, not perfectly, not gracefully, but enough to be on their level. "You two built a functioning robot, at your age." His voice was soft, almost stunned. Eva nodded, eyes bright with hope. Arya whispered, "Do you like it?" Emery reached out, touching Pip's metal casing with the faintest smile. "I love it." The twins exhaled in visible relief. Emery looked at Rowan then. "Really looked. What exactly did you do, Mr. Hale?" And Rowan answered with the truth. "I treated them like kids who needed attention, not problems to be fixed." Silence followed, and then Emery said, "Would you stay on, permanently, not as a janitor, as their mentor?" Luca gasped. "Daddy, you got promoted," Rowan laughed. "Looks that way, buddy." Eva threw herself at Rowan in a fierce hug. Arya followed silently, arms winding around his waist. Rowan felt his throat tighten. In that moment, he realized something startling. He hadn't just solved the unsolvable problem of the Billionaire's twins. He had found a new family, not replacing anything he already had. He and Luca were enough for each other, but adding to it in a way he never imagined. And perhaps for the first time in a very long time, so had Eva and Arya. The Harrow estate slowly changed after that, not overnight, not magically, but slowly. Instead of feathers and exploding cakes, the halls were filled with the sounds of drills, coding programs, and Luca's laughter echoing alongside the twins. Emery spent more evenings at home, often observing their projects with genuine fascination. Rowan became the steady bridge between father and daughters, someone who translated emotions into words. who helped Emery see the girls not as unpredictable storms, but as brilliant, complicated children longing to be seen. One evening, weeks later, Rowan found himself sitting on the back patio as the sun dipped behind the manicured gardens. Eva tinkered with Pip 2.0, a version with wheels instead of legs. Arya sketched plans for a robot bird. Luca chased a butterfly, tripping over his own feet and laughing. Emery approached quietly, taking a seat beside Rowan. "I owe you an apology," Emery said, "for leaving them alone, for letting things get so bad." Rowan shook his head. "You were doing what you thought was right, providing, working. It wasn't what they needed, no," Rowan said softly, "but you're here now. That counts." Emery studied him thoughtfully. "You have a way of seeing people, Mr. Hale. Just years of being overlooked," Rowan said with a faint smile. "Makes you pay attention." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the children. Emery finally said, "I can't pay you enough for what you've done." Rowan chuckled. "Well, that robot lab could use better ventilation." Emery laughed, a short, surprised sound as though he hadn't expected a laugh at all. "Done." Then he looked back at the twins. "You know, they call you their favorite grown-up." Rowan raised a brow. "Even more than the chef who bakes dinosaur-shaped cookies. Considerably more." Rowan let the words settle in his chest, warm and weighty. He had taken what was meant to be a one-day job, and instead he changed 3 lives. His included. That night, as the children gathered around him, showing off Pip's new upgrades, Rowan realized something important. Sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones with the most power or money. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who know how to kneel, listen, laugh, and stay. And Rowan Hale stayed, not because he was asked, but because he finally felt something he hadn't felt in years. Home,